won't be a Q&A. It'll just be me chatting. So just finished work for the day. I'm done for the day. So that's good. All right, hold on. Let me look at something. I'm hungry. Wow. Okay. Okay. So, thoughts on my mind. Well, let me just first start off by saying congratulations to the Celtics for winning the game yesterday. It was a really interesting game. I didn't watch the whole thing because I was coming back from work. So I was coming back. I had to cut some hair. So then I did that. So I didn't get a chance to watch the entire beginning of the game, but I saw a huge chunk of it, so I was really excited about that. But my team won. My team. My team. They won yesterday. I can't even get my days right. They won yesterday, and they won in a very convincing fashion. And I'm not crazy because you also have to keep in mind that, they won by hitting a lot of 3-point shots. So I have to be realistic and say that while they did win and it was convincing, they won because of the strategy that they like to employ, which is shoot a lot of threes. So the Celtics won, bombing threes, which, hey, for better or worse, that's the strategy that they've chosen to go with, and so I'm okay with it. They got the win. I'm happy. I'm happy about the win, and so let's keep that going. Hey, what's up, guys? If you're in the chat, say hi. What's up? Probably not going to read all the stuff off, but I'm talking about the Celtics game yesterday. I was super pumped about it. It was a good win. What up? What up? And it was a good game. I was very surprised that they won that game I think they won by almost 20 points. It was a hell of a game. Like, I couldn't even. You kind of hope they have a game like that over and over again because I don't even know. It's always cool when you see a team play that well. I thought it was very odd that they were trying to go for the record and they couldn't make a shot. It's almost as if, well, not almost, but they were just forcing the shots, forcing all of the shots. And I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, why are you forcing all these shots? They're missing shots. I couldn't believe it. So that was interesting. So what did I think? What are my thoughts from the game? I'm trying to think. What are my thoughts? What are your thoughts from the game too? Write that in the chat. How do you think about the game? But what I take from that game is they're playing really well. They seem to not have skipped a beat. They seem to Indonesian. I'm Indonesian. Okay, that sounds cool. Hello, are you going to hoop? I'm not going to hoop. I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home, and I am going to probably do some cleaning. I have to do some strength and conditioning at the local high school from 2:15 to 3:15 today. So usually I have hockey there. I have tennis. I have baseball. So far, those are the teams that I've had there so far. So we got, what do we have? Those teams, usually I have up to about 15 to 20 athletes. that show up. I'm going to lose service. I'm driving on the highway, and for some reason the service usually cuts out. So just want to make sure you guys know that. But I do strength and conditioning. I started essentially volunteering over there. Turn the heat off. Jeez, it's burning up in there. But I do strength and conditioning at the local high school. I've been doing that for the last month and a half. It took a while. It took a couple of weeks to figure it all out. Had to go get Corey checked. So that was fun. I had to do a couple other things, paperwork and stuff to get that squared away. But here we are. I think, depends on how things go, I might continue doing it for the remainder of the year, or I may not. I don't know. It's in the athletic director's hands, not mine. So we'll see. But okay, so let me talk about what I do at the strength and conditioning at the high school. And if you have questions, leave them in the chat, and then I'll look at them later and maybe message you or something. Try to drive safely. It's a hands-free state, Massachusetts. So I'm going to stay hands-free, but I'm still going to talk. So right now, what I'm doing with the teams is the first week, I decided all the exercises. I did strength and conditioning. So what we did was we did a dynamic warm-up, prepare them, and then we did speed and agility sessions. I switched back and forth. So the focus for today's session is going to be, depending on how many people we have in the group, it'll probably be agility focused. And we'll do that for about 10 to 15 minutes, or until volleyball takes over the court. And then after that, we'll go into the gym, the weight room. I say gym, but I really mean weight room. We'll go into the weight room, and then they'll have a workout plan. At this point right now, I've offloaded selecting of the exercises for the kids. They're picking their exercises. I'm scrutinizing technique. I'm making sure they choose the right technique. I'm making sure also they choose the right weight. I want something to be challenging but still doable, and they're able to maintain form throughout the whole workout. So that's been the goal. If you agree with all this stuff, like it. So that's what I've been doing for the last 6 weeks. The first 2 weeks, I selected all the exercises. I'm still selecting the conditioning exercises. We're doing those right now. But I think we're on week 5. Next week we'll be done. Well, technically done. Depends on whether the athletic director wants to keep going. So we'll do that. I'm selecting all the agility exercises. The kids will select their own workouts, their own lifts. I give them a script, a template of exercises. So generally what I'm doing is I have criteria of exercises I want them to select. So it'll say upper body exercise, lower body exercise, core exercise, and they get to pick, what specific exercises. So then it's kind of like locked, it's almost pre-selected for them so that they don't make a mistake in the planning process of their exercises. Eventually we'll get to the point where they're selecting the reps and sets, and also the exercises, the composition of exercises. Hopefully we get to that point very soon. But right now I think I need to get a couple more weeks or months with them before we can get to that point. I just don't think we're there yet. They're still relatively young. I don't want them to choose exercises that throw off their balance. Some of them have shoulder issues that we're managing, we're working on. So I want to make sure that they're doing things right and there's some balance in the workout. So working on we're mitigating of that particular joint. And then we're also strengthening the antagonist muscle groups. Does anybody know what antagonist muscle group is? Leave it in the chat if you know what it is. An antagonist muscle group. But we're working on that. So I have one kid who's a pitcher. He's got some shoulder issues. You can usually tell if they have shoulder issues or joint issues because they start rubbing the area as if it's not very obvious. You're rubbing the area because it hurts. So naturally, I give them some exercises to do, and it seems to have sold them. A good deal of strength and conditioning at the high school and the college level is selling the athlete that you're trying to help them, that your goal is to help them, because they all want to do it on their own. And so that's part of the reason why I decided that I was going to let them select the exercises, because when I was working at the college level, I was trying to get the volleyball team to buy in, and they know this, Farah and Mara. I was trying to get them to buy into the program. And the hard thing was they all wanted to do their own thing. So I was like, all right, you want to do your own thing? I got you. So what I decided to do was I'll give them guardrails. I'll give them essentially a boot camp style workout, but they're selecting exercises that are going to be beneficial to them for their sport. And so eventually they all came on board. And I ended up having the entire team for at least a good 2 or 3 years showing up consistently. Because I would get the coach, sorry Ben, I get the coach and he's like, yeah, I fully support it. I fully support the team doing the strength and conditioning. I want to do the testing, but I'm kind of hamstrung with like getting the kids in and making sure that they show up. Now, you have to take into consideration that at the Division III level, it's optional. So you have to take that into account, and your goal is to convince them to continue to show up. And so I had to do that. And that was one way that I was able to get the volleyball team to show up consistently with enough so that they can do well. And this was the year that they actually did well, I mean, obviously. But that stretch of time, that was their highest performing point in that career. I got them, and they can correct me if I'm wrong, Farah and Myra, but they were subsequently much better, much more competitive once they started to show up consistently and do the training. They took full advantage of it, and they did great. And so I was super pumped about that. But that was the reason behind my approach to working at the high school. Most kids at the high school level, even at the college level, know everything. And so you want to, one, encourage them taking accountability and responsibility for their health and well-being. But at the same time, you want them to do it in a manner that is safe and productive. And so the reason why I did it that way is, okay, one, I get them to do what I want them to do, which is work out, but we're minimizing the chance of injuries that are self-inflicted because of a faulty program, choosing the wrong reps or sets for that given amount of weight, or choosing an exercise that in itself causes an overusage. So if we can manage or minimize the chances of them making a programming error that ends up in them getting hurt, if we can minimize that, then, one, you build rapport with them and they end up consistently doing the training program. If they consistently do the training program, well then at that point, go for the sex league. Hey, yes. Okay. I got it. Yeah, so if we can get them to consistently perform the program, they're going to see progress, they'll see improvement. If they continue to see improvement, well, then they'll stick with the program. And so you got to find out Yeah, so I wanted them to stay consistent. If I can get consistency from the athletes, if I can get consistency from the teams, I know that I can get them to improve. I've seen this play out over the entirety of my career. I've seen people. I had this one person who did the leg press. I had him do the most simplistic workout, right? It was 12 repetitions, 3 sets for week 1, 10 repetitions, 3 sets for week 2, 8 repetitions for week 3, and then for week 4, which was a download week, 10 repetitions. And so I saw that person go increase their leg press by 100 pounds. 100 pounds. When we did a 1RM test, 100 pounds. A working max. Not like a struggle, I can't do it, bad form max, but they were actually able to lift 100 more pounds. I've seen this play out over the course of over 12 years at this point. Once you see certain patterns and decisions, you just know, all right, this works. But you just got to get people to consistently do it. And so that's why my approach with the high school team this particular year is that, okay, I'm going to find out how I can get you guys to consistently work out. And if I can get you to consistently work out, if I can get you to consistently do speed and agility, you're going to improve. And if you don't get hurt, you don't get injured, which I know is not going to happen, as long as they do what they need to do, then they're going to improve. And so I've just been trying to ram that home with them, while also giving them space and opportunity to make conscientious decisions about their exercises. And the cool thing about it is we kind of go back and forth. They feel comfortable asking me questions about exercise. They feel comfortable asking me questions about technique. And that's what I want. I don't want to have to do all the work for them. I don't want, at the end of the day, when I'm done with that school, when I'm done with my career, or when I'm done for that particular year, I want the people that I work with to know how to go into the gym and not have any issues with putting together a program. They can have the most remedial, they can have the worst gym in terms of equipment and still be able to make a sound workout that is periodized and helpful and productive. That's been my goal since I was working at the college towards the end. Once I got over the fact that, because usually when you're working in your field, you want to have control and power and make people better. Once you kind of, as Greg Popovich says, once you get over yourself in your career, at that point it becomes just helping other people. And for me, this is why I decided to start this channel. This is why I'm actually talking, even though I'm more of an introvert. This is helping. But because I've kind of gotten through that portion of my career where it's less about me and I got over the selfish component of it, now the goal is to help as many people as possible. That's why I want people to be in the chat. That's why I have no problem doing a live now, just talking about random stuff, talking about old stuff from the past, in terms of strength and conditioning. If somebody were to want to jump on right now and be live, I would talk to them about exercise. I think it would help other people anyway. But that's the reason behind it. And so that's the reason why I also decided to volunteer at the high school. The goal has always been to help other people. So if anybody in this chat knows somebody that wants to get help with fitness, that wants to doesn't quite know what to do, and has the motivation, has the ambition to get better, anybody, it doesn't matter whether it's a team, whether it's an individual. If you know an individual that wants to do this, that is serious about exercise, or just wants to know more information, reach out to me, like a video, but have those people reach out to me. In my bio, is it a bio? In the bio, I have links to workout templates, because I do basketball, and basketball has kind of been a feature of mine. I have a vertical jump e-booklet that tells people how to get better at improving their vertical jump. So I got that there. If you have any suggestions of products or things I can create to help people, feel free to leave those things too. But I just want people to reach out. I can help you. I'll do the best I can with the time that I have to help as many people as possible. That's why I'm on this thing. Instead of trying to work with one person, I'm trying to help as many people as possible. So feel free to reach out. I know people like to do BS in the chat and start talking about stuff that's completely counterproductive. Stop that stuff. If you have things that you want help with, if you have people that want to get better at fitness, if they want to do something to get better, to get faster, to jump higher, to heal an injury, whatever, they're recovering from injury. If you have people that are going through that journey, tell them to reach out to me. I'll put something together for you based on my free time, whatever I got going on. I got a little bit today, or I can talk about it in the chat. I can do a live on it. But send me the stuff. Send me what you got going on, what questions you have, and I'll do my best to help as many people as possible. All right, it helps me, and it also helps you. Right? Obviously, I'm trying to grow something on my own, but the only way I can do that is if I help people and be very genuine about helping people. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I've got a free ebook about improving vertical jump for basketball players. I've got a free workout planner. It's 3 weeks. All you got to do is put in the exercises. You can track your weight. You can track your reps. And then the next day you do that exercise, you can see if you can increase. So the way I usually have people do their program, because I'm talking about it right now, I'll have them do all the workouts. Let's just say you do the same workouts for 3 weeks, okay? So week 1, let's say we did bench press. Week 1, bench press, I did 50 pounds for 10 repetitions. And our the range I want to stick within is usually anywhere between 10 and 15 repetitions. So let's just say you start off with 10 repetitions for week 1. Next week we do the exercise, or the next day you do the exercise. Now we're trying to better that. We did 10 repetitions at 50 pounds. The next day we're trying to see if we can do 10 or more. If you do more, if you do 12 repetitions, that's improvement. Okay, day 3, can we do the same amount, or can we do a little bit more? If we can do a little bit more, fantastic. But week 2, the next week, we do the same damn thing. Okay, Johnny, well, are we gonna do it forever? No. That's why I said we have a range. All right, so if my range is from 10 to 15, usually I do 12 to 15, but I'm saying 10 for it's easier. If we do 10 to 15, 50 pounds, now I get to the point where I'm doing 50 pounds for 15 repetitions. The point at which I can get to 15 repetitions, now I have to make a decision. Do I keep doing more reps? No. Or do I increase the weight? Yes. How much weight do I increase it by? Good question. 5 to 10 pounds for upper body exercises, all right? Bench press, dumbbell row, bicep curl, lat pull down, tricep extension. That's where you're going to increase by 5 to 10 pounds, actually. So now I'm going to increase it, so that 50 is going to now turn to 55. So now I do 55. Now, where people go wrong with this is they expect themselves to do 55 pounds for 15 repetitions. That doesn't make any sense. There's an inverse relationship between the number of repetitions and the amount of weight. So if the weight goes up, the repetitions go down. So now the expectation of repetitions will go down as the weight goes up. So now we're at 55 pounds, up 5 pounds. Now we're gonna aim for at least 10 to 12 repetitions. But wherever you fall on that, that's the number you have. So on week 2, when you start at that new weight, or week 3, whenever you started, now you've got 55 pounds for, let's say 12. I was able to do 12 repetitions. Then you start it all over again, okay? Boom, do the same thing. Next day, let's see if we can get 13. Next day, can't do it, that's fine. Okay, we're good. Make sure you're resting in between though. You don't want to do 3 days in a row. I'll tell you a story. If somebody reminds me at some point, I'll tell you the story of the person that I had that had a 4-day split program and they weren't improving. I'll tell you that, but you have to remind me about it. But that's how you want to do it. Week 1, week 2, week 3, we're progressing in that manner. Then you have what's called a download week. What the hell is a download week? I'll tell you. You're reducing the amount of volume and intensity on purpose so that your connective tissue, right, because it recovers or heals or adapts slower than your muscles. Your muscles adapt fast, your connective tissue adapts slowly. So you want to allow that a little bit of time to catch up. All right, so now we have that download week at the fourth week. Fourth week, reduction in volume, which is number of repetitions, and a reduction in intensity on purpose. So what does that look like? All right, so let's say we did 12 repetitions all the way up to 15 repetitions. First of all, we're doing 2 sets instead of 3. So if you did 3 sets for your workout for week 1 to week 3, now we're going to do 2 sets. So that's a reduction in volume. And 2, we're going to reduce the intensity. So you can completely change the exercises. Choose exercises that are like biceps, triceps, shoulders. You can focus on hip mobility. You can do body weight exercises, whatever. It doesn't matter. You just need to make sure that they're lighter than what you would have done than you did during the first 3 weeks. You can even do the same exercises, but reduce the weight greatly, just so that you can have some space and time to improve. But that's what I would do. That's exactly what I would do. I would make sure that you did those 4 weeks, and then once you're done with those 4 weeks, you repeat the same thing over again. This is literally what I do. Literally what I do. Now you can change it. You can extend the cycle, which is what we're doing, a 4-week cycle. You can shorten it to make it a 3-week cycle, where the middle day or the middle week is going to be the high volume week, and then on the back half, the 3rd week is going to be the download week. You can do that, but that's how it would work. All right, in a nutshell. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Remember, if there's any people that you know that want to get better at anything related to fitness, this is what I do. You can reach out if you want to. I'll probably start doing some more lives, and I'll plan them. Usually I do them on my way back from work or in between work, so that I can, 1, get some reps in, talking to people in public, and then 2, helping as many people as I can to get better at fitness. So please make sure you reach out. All right, I'm going to get out of here. You all have a blessed day. Have an amazing day, and take care of yourselves. And if you're in another state where it's nighttime, good night. If it's the middle of the day, I'm in Massachusetts, so it's the middle of the day for me. It's actually 10 a.m. right now for me. But I'm going to get out of here, and you guys have a great day. Take care. Bye.